What's going on, team? Welcome back. Welcome back. Episode number 9. Closing down on those double figures. Can't wait to start smashing through the double figures. Hope we're all having a great week. Smashing the day, smashing the week, and looking forward to the weekend and any festivities that are to come. I know in the northern hemisphere it's getting pretty fucking chilly. I was on the phone with my brother the other day. It was about 25 degrees and I was sweating my bollocks off, and he was sat in -3. So to be honest with you, I miss it. I miss being cold around Christmas time, but I can't really complain. Hopefully my pale northern skin can get some sort of a tan so I don't look like the Milky Bar kid for the rest of my life. But anyway, that's a bit of a tangent off something completely different. Episode 9 is going to be about exercising and working out in the youth population. So the kids and throughout teens and young adults and working towards adulthood. First of all, I just want to say, obviously I'm not a doctor. I say this quite often, but I don't want to be taken out of context and say I'm preaching anything or going to cure anything or any of that bullshit. I'm not a doctor. I don't have any facts and figures for you right now. I'm sure you can go studying for yourself and can find some facts and figures, but I don't have any facts and figures regarding any claims I might do. But I've also seen it, and I think we can all agree on child health-related diseases and child obesity, which is classed as a disease these days, is on the rise, and it's a problem. These things need to be addressed sooner rather than later, and I don't really understand why it's not in the forefront of our mind. Obviously, we've got massive issues to tackle, like world poverty, climate change. All these things are massive issues in the world that need to be tackled as well. But in the Western world, we're seeing, we've got so much education regarding diets and training and things along those lines. But childhood obesity and health-related diseases are on the rise, and to me, that it's a massive oxymoron, and it don't make any sense. They're quite conflicting with one another, and I feel like if we put a lot more funding into the youth when it comes to physical capabilities and physical health, it's also going to help their mental health, and 2, moving forward into the adulthood. They're going to develop so many more skills that are going to help them in their jobs, and they're also going to have less of a strain on the health system because they're going to have less diseases. They're going to be a little bit more mobile. They're going to have less conditions. On the whole, obviously we've got genetic conditions. We've got freak accident, environmental conditions, all these things. But as a whole, we can reduce future strain by concentrating on the now and helping the youth. I do believe the youth population, kids, teens, even younger teens just before they get there, like 10, 11, 12, and then also that adolescent and puberty scene, they need to be coached. It's not just you walk into the gym first time when you're 14, when you're 16, when you're 18, when you're 25, when you're 49, it doesn't matter. You walk into the gym for the first time in your life and you start picking up weights and you're just like, right, let's work out. I don't believe that's the best way of doing it, especially with kids. They should not be learning from trial and error. They should not be learning from trial and error. I'm really fucking passionate about this, mainly because that's basically what I did. I was taught some things along the way, and no one is ever truly self-made. People have always had a little bit of help, a little bit of guidance somewhere, but a lot of the time it was literally just, okay, I'm going to lift and then something hurts, and then I have to research why it hurts from this lifting. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I've been doing it wrong. All right, well, let's try and change that and see what happens. And then you develop an imbalance. You're like, okay, why is this? And then back to the learning, back to the books, back to online and Google. And I really do believe, and I'm really passionate about kids and the youth not having to do that. They should be taught. And if schools don't have qualified, PE teachers to be able to take that through a gym, then that's absolutely fine. But they need to invest in external coaches to come in. They need to invest in a decent weight room. They need to invest in decent equipment, not only for health and safety, of course, but for the longevity of these people, of these young people. Obviously, we've got the very, very narrow-minded approach of they could potentially make some very, very good professional athletes or some very, very good Olympians, Commonwealth athletes, world champions, and it's going to look good on your country, but also for the fucking health of these people, like, so they don't become immobile by their age of 25, 30, so they don't develop heart disease, obesity, lung disease, or whatever, and they can actually move. They know what their body's telling them. As we all know, for those of us that have already gone through puberty, and for if anyone's already going through puberty at the moment, it's a difficult time. Like things are fucking changing inside of you, and you don't really understand what's going on. You don't really understand what you're feeling and why things are hurting, why things are feeling good, why things might piss you off a little bit more, especially in young lads. That's something I struggled with massively. Was a very, very, very short temper. Like the wind could change direction and I'd hit red. I would see red where I'd literally want to tear walls down. And people just give you a label of anger management, or ADHD, or aggressive, or he's just a dickhead, or he's a chav. They'll just give you all these labels, and it's like, well, hold on a minute, like what's actually happening with this person? Let's try and help them out. And I do believe a lot of these things, not all of them, and it's not gonna, I don't want to use the word cure or anything like that, it's not gonna completely eradicate the problem, but by working out, by exercising, by simply moving more, we're going to be able to help these young adults understand what actually is going on inside them and what's actually changing. Their bones are growing, their muscles are growing, they started getting facial hair, they're starting getting a pair of tits. Like, all these things are changing, and why don't we just be a little bit more open about it and help them by teaching them how to move? A lot of these problems that I see is kids that have done specific sports, or kids that haven't done any sports, and they genuinely don't know how to move. Like, I'll watch them walk down the street, not obviously not in a weird way. I'll watch them down the street as they leave the gym, in the gym, and you look at their ankles to start off with. They have no control over their feet. They have fucking no idea what's going on. Swimmers, they don't know how to breathe out of water. Their shoulders are extremely mobile in most cases. Rugby players are extremely tight. Footy players are usually quad dominant and don't use their hammies, so they've got a massive imbalance there, and they can start developing some knee, hip, or ankle issues. And all these things can be addressed by breaking down movement, breaking down sports, and breaking down S&C, so strength and conditioning, in the younger population. So if we address these things that are very early on down the line, then when we get further down that line, then there's going to be less issues. Hopefully, fingers crossed. That's the idea. Also from exercising, from playing, from being outside, being active, you develop so many more traits as a human being, especially team sports. I'm a massive, massive advocate of team sports. You develop, obviously, leadership, how to work as a team, clues in the name. The cooperation between people, how to learn under pressure and adapt things when things don't go well. Like sport is sport. I heard a quote on telly the other day when it was basically there was a footy match on. That's soccer for anyone that calls football American football or rugby. So soccer match on, and the commentator said something like, "No, I tell a lie. It was basketball. It was a basketball match, and they were talking about going to the VAR or their equivalent, and it was like, how far are we going to take it? How much do we want technology to make things right in a sport played by humans that inevitably make mistakes?" And it's so true. And that's one thing that we love about sport. Like, it's never going to be perfect because there's always going to be something you can improve on. Because in that moment, under that pressure, with those lights on you, with those eyes on you, with that person holding down your neck or marking you, or going at 100 miles an hour, with 100% intensity, something's going to go wrong, and the clock's always going to tick. It's always going to tick by. You're always going to get 80 minutes, in rugby, or 90 minutes in footy. You're always going to get a set amount of time. There's no do-overs. You can't just say, "Oh, sorry, ref, like, can I take that penalty again? I scuffed it. I hit the floor." No, it's you fucked up. You fucked up. Life's going to be like, right, well, you fucked up. Deal with it. Now you're going to have to make up for it. You gave the ball away. Now you're going to have to track back. Now you're going to have to sprint the length of the pitch to get back into position because you're the one who fucked up. And life is no do-overs. You basically, there's times inevitably where you're going to fuck up, and you have to be able to go, okay, well, I missed the mark on that one. Like, I was a bit of a dickhead. I shouldn't have done this, or I missed the shot, or I failed that test, or whatever. And you need to be able to take that on the chin and just think, okay, cool. I might have not got the result I wanted to, but I would have learned so much from it. And I'm going to take those lessons from that failure, put it into a pot, put more work into that pot, and then see what comes out at the other side. And again, if you fail again, cool, you go again, and then again, and again, and again, until you get wherever you want to get, till you get that result that you wanted. And that result that you wanted is just going to open more doors, and you're just going to keep doing the same thing until, well, we get put in the dirt. And that's basically a life lesson, and that was taught, or can be taught, through team sports, can be taught through playing, can be taught through physical exercise, and all these things can be related to moving, to sport, to PE, physical education. And I feel like we've neglected that. Like, technology has got incredible, absolutely incredible. Like, you can be anywhere in the world and you can listen to me chat some shit, some northern lad chat some shit about health and fitness, and that's incredible. But we've also lost the thought of, let's get outside, let's do it, let's actually physically move this body, and let's like do things, and then we'll strip it all back and digest what happened, learn from it, and do it again. Digest what's back, learn from it, and do it again. I know at my school, like, I had some really, really good PE teachers, and they did exactly that. It'll be like, we'd do a play, we'd do a move, we'd play a game of tennis, basketball, dodgeball, fucking footy, rounders, Aussie rules, rugby league, union, you name it. We'll play any sport, and they'll do a drill and they'll stop and they'll ask a question, and we'll be like, whoa, I don't really know. And they're like, just give me an answer, and we give them an answer. Well, we'll do this, and they're like, okay, cool, play that out, go. And they'll let us play, and we'll play it, and something didn't work. They'd stop us again. Like, what happened? Oh, this didn't work. Wicked. Go back, try something else, or stay where you are, try something else, fix it, go again. Obviously, that's partitioned, and it's not going to be the same speed as real life, but there's also lessons to be learned in that, and to being able to play out a move or play out a play and it not work, you'd be like, okay, well, shit, that didn't work. They scored. Shit, that didn't work. It's just not feasible. It's not good enough. Their defense is in a formation that's not going to allow us through. But we played that out and we know it. So then when we see signs of it in an actual game, we can already read that, and we've already learned those lessons, and we can go forward. And those lessons can be taken into life. And I know for a fucking fact, I can guarantee you this, the stuff I learned from playing rugby and the discipline I learned from swimming and all those sports that I played as a kid, those lessons I use every single day. That I can say that for a fucking fact. Like the discipline, I was it was drilled into me playing rugby. You know, punctuality. You know, it was also my parents as well. They always say you're 15 minutes early or you're late. And playing rugby, we had to be at least 5 minutes early. You have to be early or you're late, and that's just stuck with me. For example, we go for a run round the pitch. You don't cut the corners, you go around the post, and we include the dead ball area because it is still in the pitch. You know, Ian and Steve, you guys did a fucking phenomenal job. There's a reason why our team was so successful. It's because you instilled in us from a very early age of, right, well, this is the way the game's played. This is the way we play code. And this is the way the world works. You either do it right or, I mean, in a sport like rugby, you either do it right or you get hurt. And getting hurt hurts. I know it sounds really dumb, but that teaches you physically. It's like, oh shit, I did that wrong. Well, you get a physical reaction to that and you're going to be hurt physically. But in life, you can turn that on the other side. You might do it wrong and you get a financial pain from it, or an emotional pain for it, or a spiritual pain from it, or a physical pain from it, but hopefully not outside of sport. Stay safe. But all those lessons that were taught through sport, I know I use every single day. Like, things have to be done right. You know, there's a time and a place for everything. You go the extra mile. You do it for your team. You know, teamwork, leadership, developing these skills to be able to talk to people and communicate, work under pressure, adapt under pressure, being able to just deal with it. That's another reason why I've jumped onto the other side of the world. You know, things are gonna work differently over here, and don't get me wrong, I will fail probably more times than you can actually imagine before I get it right. But that's the way I kind of work. The amount of times I've failed what I wanted to achieve in life is absolutely ridiculous. And to be honest with you, if I'm completely honest, most of the goals I set myself, I fail. I know that sounds really daft, but most of the goals I set myself, I fail. Because I set myself to fucking climb Everest one-legged backwards whilst cooking a roast dinner and singing fucking Adele songs. Like, I will give myself the craziest of goals that it is so far-fetched I'll probably never reach it, but in the time parameter. But from going towards that and from working towards that, if I stop and look back or look around, I'm so much further on than I ever thought was possible. Same thing when I left home, left the gyms that I was working at there, went to other gyms. Same thing when I left those gyms and came to this gym. Same thing when I started the online business. Same thing when I started reading books. Even break it down to that. Before this year, I've probably read a book cover to cover, 3, maybe 4 books in my life, in my entire life. That's fucking stupid. That's shocking. Mainly because it was a weakness of mine. I was quite self-conscious about it, and I just hid away from it. But I gave myself a goal. To be honest, with that one, I gave myself a goal of reading 6 pages a day. And for a while, I did well, and then I failed. There was a couple of days where I didn't read 6 pages, a couple of days where I read 4 because I felt it was pretty difficult. A couple of days I didn't read, but then you get into a flow of it and you read a couple chapters, or you might read a chapter that day instead of 6 pages. The chapter might be 10 or 15 or whatever. And I think I started this in maybe March, April time, and we're obviously now in December, and I'm on my 12th book. 12th book. The max I've read before this year was 4. That's 3 times the amount of books I've ever read in my life. Yes, I'm quite not very far into this book. I'm only 50 pages in through. Hold on, what have we got? 370. So I've got a fucking fair way to go, but still the principle stands. I set myself a challenge. Like at the time, reading 6 pages a day was like, dude, that sounds really daft, but that is a big ask. And I'm now 11 books down into me 12th in this year. Same thing. Put yourself out there. Start working hard. 7 years later, 8 years later, I'm on the other side of the world doing what I want to do. It's crazy, and those little lessons and those little kind of rituals that you have to do are so instilled in you. You have to do them. Goes forward, and it's gone into everyday life. So, just want to say thank you to Ian, Steve, my club coaches, all the guys at County. I can't remember for the life of me your names. There was so many, dealing with so many of us blokes. Mr. Thomas, Hughesy, Lenny D, Pix, all these people, Kinsey, all these people that have instilled in me through sport. All those lessons that I now take to life. And another point is, if you consider quite successful sportsmen or women, whether it is in school, whether it was in college, whether it was in university, whether it was in academy, whether it was professionally or whatever, if you take them for an example and you look at their life, to be honest with you, I hate to be, I don't want to single out football as bad, but on the whole, footballers are generally not in this category. There are a lot of footballers that have done extremely well outside of football as well, but most of them obviously make a shit ton of money through football, and that's it. But a lot of the other sports that have done very, very well and have had to have shown such a high level of discipline. Don't get me wrong, football needs to have that level of discipline too. But for example, these other sports, hockey, fucking bobsled, ice skating, rugby, NFL, whatever, all these sports that you've had to have such a high level of discipline and work ethic and punctuality and all these things that have instilled in them from a very young age, or even coming up through academy level, through adolescent, through the teenage years. They're doing very good outside of their sport. When it's all said and done, when they finish their career, when they get an injury, when life takes them another path, when they end up leaving their sport and doing something else, they usually thrive and usually succeed very, very well in whatever they want to do. And that's because of the lessons that have been instilled in them through their sport. There's a quote from, I've heard Matt Fraser say it quite a lot, but I'm pretty sure he didn't create it. Who created quotes? He probably just reiterated what someone said 2,000 years ago. But he said the way you do anything is the way you do everything. And it's so true. I remember me and my dad having a little conversation with my sister, and it was about my sister's in a footy, the football player, very good one, but it's to just do her homework. And everyone going through the teenage years hates homework. I did. You guys would have done. Everyone would have done, apart from the nerds. No, I'm fucking with you. But it was like, would you turn up to a footy match with one sock on? Well, the answer would be no. I'm like, okay, why? Well, you turn up proper. You turn up with a clean kit and full kit, and you look professional. I'm like, okay. So would you allow your skill books to get a bit messy, or would you not give 100% to your homework? Be like, well, it's different. I'm like, no, because the way you do anything is the way you do everything, and the lessons that you learn on the field gets transported into your books, gets transported into life. I know a lot of people might not get what they want from education, but it's compulsory. You need to do it. Use the lessons to go through life. Use the opportunities. Use the networking from mates. Use the time to enjoy yourself. It's okay to have fun. It's okay to relax and not be so stressed. I feel like a lot of kids going through school are extremely stressed with exams and work and that, and that's a topic for a different day. And obviously, I'm not in the education system, so I can't really comment too much on it. Just through experience, I can comment. And I know a lot of people, including myself, got extremely stressed through exams. And if we would have got, a little bit more of an overall grade out throughout the year, it might have stuck in a little bit more instead of just memorising, regurgitating, and then forgetting. But all these lessons that we learn from those younger ages stay with us. I know it did for me. So one thing I'd urge the youth, the young uns, the little uns to do is get out and play. Fucking move and play games, play sport, have fun with friends. Climb trees, kick a ball, throw a ball, catch a ball, hit a ball, bat a ball, play whatever, go on a trampoline, try different sports, try every sport, try any sport, do whatever you enjoy, and have fun with it. Because all these things will, even if you don't make it pro, 0.1% of the world make it pro. It's every little boy and girl's dream that loves sport to be a professional athlete. I don't know, it was mine as well. But life said, no, that's not what you're supposed to do. But those lessons that you did learn carry through. And the obvious reason for fucking health. Like, get kids moving because of health. Like, instead of buying your kid another piece of technology, the third Kindle of that year, they've got a phone at the age of fucking 9 years old. They've had 3 Kindles. They've got an Xbox, a laptop, a TV. They've got a fucking iPod, an iPad, and a bloody one of these things that you stand on, the hoverboard shit. Instead of buying them all that shit, how about taking them outside and kicking a ball with them? Let me say that again. Actually going outside with your own kid and playing ball with them. I know it's like groundbreaking. You don't have to stick them in front of a telly to entertain them. Kids naturally have an extremely high level of energy. Burn it off. Why do you think kids are so frustrated? Because they're sat down all the time. No wonder, like, tapping their feet and then getting into mischief, because they want to move. Like, none of this is ADHD sort of shit. Yes, they might be. They might genuinely be ADHD or have ADHD, not be ADHD. No one is a term or a condition. And that's fine, but there's ways of helping that kid. And there's ways of helping that kid through sport. And I tell you what, kids who are self-conscious about their weight, or are self-conscious about their size, or their ability in physical sense will be less self-conscious if they do more. 1, because they will develop those skills. 2, because they might lose a bit of weight. 3, because they might start enjoying themselves. 4, because they might actually be fucking good at something. They might actually be better than their class at a sport. You know, we're playing dodgeball, and I could be shit. I can't catch a ball for anything. And then one day we're like, all right, we're gonna go swim or do personal survival or something in the water, and then I absolutely kick ass. And then the next day, little Jimmy kicks ass at netball, and the next day, Sophia kicks ass at rugby. And it's like, wow, all these like abilities that come naturally to these young humans would have gone under the radar and people wouldn't know about them, and they would just have been labelled as lazy or hyperactive or all these terms, just because they never had the opportunity to move and express themselves physically. And then it just goes back to the more exercise you do, obviously not overtraining or ragging your kids silly, forcing them to do shit they don't want to do. But the more exercise they do, the more confident they feel in themselves. They'll stand up a little bit taller. They usually, understand their bodies a little bit more. And that's a massive thing. Like developing in a young age and understanding what goes on internally is huge. It's fucking huge. I remember just thinking, like, am I weird feeling these things? Or I went into high school with the same voice as I have now. It's probably as deep as it was when I started school. I was like, whoa, hold on a minute. Like, am I weird? Like, is this normal? And I guarantee you, every single person with that question, the answer is going to be yes, it is normal, and no, it is not weird. Say that again. Yes, you're normal, and no, you're not weird. Everyone's unique. Everyone's got different genetics. Everyone's got different environments. Everyone's usually eats different things, trains differently, moves differently, sleeps differently. All these environmental factors, as well as, nature versus nurture argument. Everyone's got different nature and different nurture, or most of the time. So you're going to be different people, and embracing that. Like, there's a reason why there's different positions on a rugby field. Like, the prop is not going to kick for goal most of the time. The prop is not going to be on the outside of the pitch sprinting the length most of the time. Why? Because he's a slow motherfucker, but he's strong enough to be in front of the scrum. Same thing with the keeper in footy. Absolutely great with their hands. Probably not going to be up front. Same thing in netball. Goal attack, goal defence, centre. Centre might have more leadership skills. Might be a little bit fitter, a bit more agile, so they can get around the court a lot more. Like, everyone is different. It's just different positions in life. And we're all going to excel by understanding what we're good at, understanding where our weaknesses are and where we need to improve, if we want to improve on that thing, and be a little bit more healthier, and hopefully, be a little bit more sociable, and know how to communicate, and know how to take it on the chin. Take a loss on the chin. Take a win on the chin. Don't be a sore winner as well as a sore loser. Everyone hates the fact when you lose and the team who wins like rubs it in your face. That's not sportsmanship or sportswomanship, whatever the term is these days. Like, that's not why you play a sport. You play to compete, you play to learn, you play to have fun, you play to win. But when you don't, you learn from it. Shake their hand. Congratulations, good luck in the next round. And I think, guys, that might be all I have to say on that topic. I do realise it's gone on for a little bit longer. Coming up to 35 minutes now. I do apologise. Hopefully you understood all of that. I get a little bit passionate when it comes to the youth and kids. I just want to be able to pass on a little bit more, and some people don't have those role models, you know. Some people don't have a big brother, some people don't have a big sister, some people don't have parents, some people don't have both parents or grandparents. They don't have those people that they can look up to. So if we can cause a little bit of change and change the environment these people find themselves in, these young uns find themselves in, then it sets them up for life. You know, we've all heard those studies saying it's like, what is it, the first 5 years of your life, your parents have an impact on you, and then after that, it's all environmental. That's scary. That's really scary. I mean, I ain't a dad. I don't have any kids. Not for a long time, but hearing that is very, very scary, and I kind of feel a little bit of responsibility to be able to create the best environment for young uns that are over the age of 5. You know, who are teenagers, who are young adults going through adolescence, to just help them out. Be a fucking role model that you needed when you were younger. That's not to shit on the role models that you did have. That's not to shit on your parents. But it's just to go through the lessons that you've learned and adapt them to be able to provide something more for the next generation. And they'll do the same thing. And then they'll do the same thing. And then hopefully, as a human race, we understand a little bit more and can be a little bit more active, a little bit more healthy, and a lot more happy, because that's what we all want, right? A little bit healthier so we can live longer, a lot happier so we can actually enjoy ourselves on this beautiful planet, and a little bit more active so maybe we push the boundaries of human performance, which is really, really fascinating, and I'm excited to see where these young people take sport. You know, excited to see the specimens that come through rugby. I'm excited to see the specimens that go through Olympic weightlifting, go through athletics, football, netball, hockey, you name it. Like, I love watching any sport and seeing the hard work and discipline be portrayed through movement is beautiful to watch. But it's also fascinating, motivating to hear what they're doing off the court, whether it is training towards their sport or whether it is, you know, they're starting a new venture. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger, for example. Yes, people question whether bodybuilding is a sport, but it's one of those out there sports. But he was governor of California. He went to Hollywood. Like, he's done all these crazy things because he was disciplined through physical activity. And I do believe that we can do more. There is always more to be done, yeah. But we can do more, we can provide more, and we can help more people so they can be a little bit healthier, be a little bit more active, and be a lot more happier. That's me, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the episode and taken something from it. And just be mindful of the young ones around you. I know I'm probably not the best of role models in some sense, because I'll curse a lot, but that's just my culture. You know, back home we swear like it's going out of fashion, but that's not me trying to be insulting. That's life. And obviously I keep it on the down low when it comes to the young uns. But if they hear a quote unquote naughty word from time to time, then I think they can be grown up enough to be able to let that slide. So just being a role model, make sure you're leading from the front, being an example, and offering any advice that they need. They've probably got a lot of questions, but they've probably not got a lot of confidence to ask them. So just show them, don't tell them. And if they've got any questions or any worries or anything, then teach them. Don't just tell them. It's different. All right, guys, have a fucking fantastic day. Make sure you absolutely destroy any goals you've set yourself, and be proud of yourself for working towards those goals. Get in the gym, get moving, get healthy, get active, get happy. Fuck a lot. Enjoy your day, guys. See you later.